This is Mark Phelps reporting for AvWeb during EAA AirVenture 2022 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I'm on my way to record a visit with an inspiring man. You're about to meet Stuart McQuillen, a former British Royal Air Force officer who suffered an accident which left him paralyzed and wheelchair bound. He's going to tell us about how he responded to that adversity.
So I was with a tornado squadron. This is where I got my injury. A triple spinal break. I learned to fly again thanks to the Douglas Bader Foundation. They sent me to America to learn to fly with a hand rudder. Douglas Bader was a double amputee. He lost his legs just before World War II, and he fought hell and high water to get back in the Air Force, which he did. He proved that even without his legs, he could fly. He was instrumental leading squadrons of Spitfires in the Battle of Britain. He got shot down twice and escaped. They took his legs away. At the reward ceremony, my wings were awarded back to me by Lady Bader, and I was introduced to King Hussein of Jordan, who gave me my wings, and he knew I was both an engineer and a pilot, and he asked me if I'd ever flown a helicopter. So 28 years of flying, I had never been in a helicopter, not once. I flew in a Bell 47, fell in love with it, and at that point I decided I had to come up with a system that would allow paraplegics to fly helicopters. Unbeknown to me, it had never been done before. And eventually I was taken under the wing of the British Army Air Corps, and we started to develop our system on the Gazelle helicopter. So I started on big fast turbine helicopters, designing the system, we perfected it, and then we were invited to bring that system to the US by the Surgeon General. And eventually it was certified in 2001. After that, about early 2002, I became the very first paraplegic ever to fly a helicopter. And I decided it had to be made available to all. We decided that we would take an experimental helicopter and install our system. Okay, so here's how the system works. It's basically three components. Underneath the passenger seat we have the control module that gives us the power to move the pedals. On top of the cyclic we have a coolie hat switch, and I can move this from left to right to get the pedal input. If I get a failure, part of the backup, I can also go up and down to get left and right. I'm going to switch it on a little after we finished chatting about what the components are. On the collective, we have an additional control model. Now, this particular rheostat here, if I move this left or right, it'll actually move the pedals also. So if I lose the cyclic, I've got a backup on here I can use. But in normal mode, these two dials here allow me to change the range of movement, the force and speed, depending on what the weather's doing. I could be taking off in a no wind condition and coming back in a 25 knot side wind. So it lets me get a little bit more aggressive with the controls. Our feet sit in these stirrups, and the reason we've got the legs in the stirrups and not just on the ground as a paraplegic is our legs will move around a bit. Secondly, the weight of the limbs also smooths out the control inputs. Okay, so I'm going to move the controller, and as you can see the pedals are moving, and I'm moving it just left to right, but I can change where it goes, I can change the force. So if I'm in a choppy wind and I'm trying to hover, once you actually put legs into these units, all these control functions will smooth out. So now you can do everything that a normal able-bodied pilot can do. NV3 Foundation.org is our website. Basically what we're about is we are going to provide a whole community for veterans. They will live, they will work, and they will learn. So our vets that are coming in with no real skill set, we're going to have the aviation link where we're both building the RotorX helicopters, we're going to do build assist, and then we'll train vets in aviation. Whether they want to fly, or they want to get an AMP, or they just want to learn some other aspect, they can do that from within the community. Our link with RotorX is that they're going to be sponsoring us on a national tour at the VA hospitals to get more vets aware of what's going on, what's out there, and that the limits they thought they had, they haven't got an idea. It goes much further. When they see me get out of a helicopter into my wheelchair, they're going to go, wow, we can do that. So now they can think bigger. And if they come to our foundation, we'll help them reach the goals that they want to reach.
Hi, so I'm Stan Collins. I'm the head of sales and marketing with RotorX Aircraft. And so we're at a fly-in. We have these fly-ins around the country every now and again, and I met Stuart down in Florida. Very interesting guy. We got to talking, and he had a lot of great ideas. And then I found out what he was doing, not just for veterans, but for people that are disabled. And I didn't realize that that was even a possibility. And so once I found that out, I was very intrigued, and we wanted to figure out how we could help them out. So he mentioned that he was working on 2 ships, and the only thing is they are older ships and don't quite have the power to, make it in the more mountainous areas. So one of the things we figured we could do to help is get him some new turbos to upgrade his engine. That way he can kind of spread the word a lot more. And we'll also follow along with them to a few of their stops at the VA hospitals. And so one of the reasons we really want to help out and support is we're big supporters of veterans, and a lot of the people that call in, they flew when they were in the Army or Air Force, and now for whatever reason they're unable to. And a lot of them are really upset about that, and I didn't realize that there was a potential solution. And so one of the things that we really like about it is we can help grow the community while also getting people to join that didn't really realize that they even could. And so it spreads the awareness just a lot further than we expected it could. So overall, we think it's a great thing, and we hope to support and work with Stuart and do as much as we can.
We've got our tail number, 988, which is the National Suicide Helpline number, which we help facilitate. But we're also going to be manufacturing components for these kits so that the vets can learn new skill sets. NV3, once it actually completes its community for veterans, it will have its own industry as well, but you don't necessarily have to work. You may just want to reside, you may want to retire, you just prefer being in an environment, community that's all veteran, where you can feel at home and avail of all the other services that we will have, both counselling, medical, and as well as leisure activities. It's when the helicopter lands at these hospitals, and we've got these vets that are in there, they don't know what's going to happen outside in that big wide world. They see me land, they see the wheelchair get rolled up, they see me get out, and hopefully it'll inspire them to do more, to want to go further than I've got. So we'll spend a whole day with them, we'll answer whatever questions they've got, whether it's about what can they do, or even the personal issue, what's it like being in a wheelchair? How can I do this? And I'll be saying, well, I built the helicopters, I fly the helicopters. Anything is possible. If you want to build that kit car, you can do it. Wheelchair or no wheelchair.